There we are. Hello everyone and welcome to Lee Charles TV at 3. Glad to see you all here. Pop a comment down if the audio sounds okay, if you can hear us. Can you hear Jane?
Can you hear me, folks? I'm the quieter one of the two, apparently. So, yeah, just let us know you can hear us okay. And hello, and I hope you've had a good week. And welcome to Saturday and LCTV at 3.
There's a little bit of a delay, I think, on the chat.
Oh, hi, Nick. Nice to have you back. How's things been with you this week?
All right.
Had a good week?
Chat that as well. Yes. Yes, there's Tangerine Dan. Is that yes? Yes, you can hear us. Yes, it sounds okay. Yes, the screen's okay. Are you getting the chat on the screen as well? We put it to you've got chat up on the screen as well, so you should be able to see that on your YouTube. We've added a little widget in there for chat.
Ooh, widget.
Yes, a chat widget.
So I've run out of Blackpool shirts to wear. Well, I've got some home ones, but I thought I'd wear my Lancashire born and bred t-shirt today.
Oh, Ollie's vlogs.
Oh, hi, Ollie.
Say hi to Ollie. Hi, Ollie. Tangerine Dan. Yes, it's epic.
Oh, hi,
okay. We'll take epic. That's really good. This sounds good. We haven't got a little crackle. We had like a little crackle on it that nobody told us about last week, and we couldn't tell. But hopefully, it's not crackling. Hi, John Stevens. Nick Muller. I'm learning how to merge and edit videos. Did my first one since I was young. Chant. Oh right. Okay. Well, interesting. So you're putting those up on YouTube, Nick? Paul Maynard, hello.
So today,
Ryan from Scotland. Are you right, Ryan? That's terrible. That was my best Scottish accent.
Gosh, I didn't hear you
Yeah, we're great. We're great, Ryan. Thanks. We've got quite a bit to chat about. Actually, Jane's going to go through a few of the things with us. We also got to remind you there is super chat now on these things, so you can, if you feel generous, tip us 50p or something. I don't know what it is, but just help the channel keep going. At the moment, that'd be great. We would welcome anything like that. Nick Muller, Ryan Armstrong. Hello, Ryan.
So coming up today, we've got an update on what's happening in Germany, with football in Germany. Because if you recall, they had a date to resume the football over there. America, got an update from America on what's going on in the MLS over there, and France, what's happening in France. The latest from the EFL and the Premier League. The update from the chief doctor at FIFA.
Hi Ben. Hi Ben.
Brick football updates. Brick football continues, of course, unaffected by the lockdown because Lego characters don't, they're immune to
coronavirus. That's great.
And also, we'll talk a little bit about Brentford because it would have been the final game at Griffin Park today, and the fans haven't had the chance to say goodbye, and they're moving to the new ground. So that's quite sad, really, that they won't have the chance to say goodbye. I mean, maybe they'll open it for some event. I don't know what's going to happen to the actual ground. But has anybody got any memories of Griffin Park? I have my main memory of Griffin Park was when I went in November 2002, and I've never been rained on that much in my life. And it was an open end, and we lost 5-0. And it was just you just imagine your worst ever match that could possibly be. You lose 5-0 and you just get absolutely drowned. So what are your memories of Griffin Park, Brentford?
Just quickly, Ryan Dunbar says never again with the accent. What was that meant to be? That was meant to be my Scottish accent.
No, please don't do it again. He said never again. He said never again. Listen.
Blimey. Oh no, I thought it was pretty good. Hello from Northern Ireland, Gary Hutchinson. Hello, whereabouts in Northern Ireland are you, Gary? What's it like over there at the moment in lockdown? Are you all locked down in Northern Ireland?
You're normally quite good at accents. I'm not quite sure what happened there.
Yeah, well, I kind of get a bit into the crankies when I start doing the Scottish accent.
Like the crankies. Nick says he would have been at MK at home tomorrow for Ipswich. Yeah, we would have been. It would have been the last game of the season. We were having Doncaster Rovers coming to Blackpool, and they were all coming in fancy dress.
So we were looking forward to that, weren't we? Seeing all our friends from Doncaster.
Yes, it was going to be. Yeah. Doncaster were all. It was going to be their fancy dress day, last game of the season. So it's all really sad, isn't it? That it's just.
They might have been up there for away fans of the season, although Tranmere will take some beating. But the Donny fans in fancy dress could have been up there as well.
They're on lockdown in Northern Ireland as well. It's a strange world at the moment where we still find it pretty unusual when you've got a queue to get in supermarkets and you just keep hoping they're going to find a cure to this terrible virus. It really is a worry, and we're going to be talking a little bit today about the Premier League, and the EFL as well. They really want to get football back on. They're so desperate, but it's almost as if they're ignoring the fact that this is really dangerous and people are dying, and they just want to get things back on.
You're actually quite angry about that, aren't you?
I am getting angry about it, yeah, because I think if they rush things back, they're going to start costing lives, and they keep going on about the Champions League, and it really, even if the Champions League starts next year, are we going to want it, thousands of Italian fans coming in to watch, say, a Liverpool match or playing Chelsea? It's not good. This obsession with the money with the Premier League is really annoying me. It's just money before lives for me all the time.
Gary says he's the only Blackpool supporter in Northern Ireland.
Alan Duckworth, hello.
Oh, hi, Alan.
And John Thrower. Evening to Thailand. JJT1603 is John Thrower. He now lives in Thailand, so it's night time for him.
Just been in a Zoom chat with John and seen his little cat, Bobby, who's very cute.
Our day is going fine. I think I finally cracked it. This is filming a different way now. I'm not filming on my phone. I'm filming on the Sony camera, and we've also got OBS live stream studio going. So hopefully it's going to give us a better stream. We are hoping it's all good, and you can see the chat coming up live as we're going along.
Lucas Vlog says, do you think Liverpool will win the league? Well,
I think they've won it, haven't they? But it's whether they'll give it them, whether they're going to give it them. I mean, the problem, which I was saying to Jane about this, is if they award Liverpool the title and they don't play the games out, then what about West Brom? What about all the teams further down? Why should Liverpool get preferential treatment over everybody else who's not going to get promoted, or are they going to promote them, or can they promote them? Because are those positions where they are now, are they set in stone? Can things go wrong? Who will get up out of the playoffs and all this? It's just, for me, I just think they need to scrub the whole season really and just forget about it. To be totally fair to everybody.
I think we've got to look at what's happened in Holland, and that they've left the positions as they are, but the team that finishes top gets in the Champions League and so forth, and that's how the European places are decided. But there's no, the Championship hasn't been awarded, and there's no promotion and relegation. So that seems a sensible way of doing it. Really, you can Liverpool will be able to say, "Oh, look, we finished top that season," but they don't get a trophy for it, which is they'll still know they've.
They've kind of won it, but it's not the same. But hello to Rob, Brighter State of Mind Hypnotherapy. This is a project I've been doing. I've been working with Rob. We put his first video up. It's a sort of he's a hypnotherapist, and he's putting up videos now to help people get through all the stress. If you're not sleeping well during isolation, so. Check him out. Check out his channel. Give him a subscribe as well as we try and grow his channel, because it'll help me as well, because I'm helping him out. We're going to be doing lots more videos for all sorts of hypnotherapy things. So nice to have you along, Rob. Gary Hutchinson, I was hoping to get to Blackpool on July the 13th, but it's not looking good now. All the hotels are closed. Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Well, it's a couple of months off, isn't it? So you never know. Things might be starting to open again in July.
Yeah, July.
I think it's going to be a staggered process. I think the government are going to be announcing next week, aren't they? Sort of the first step to sort of out of lockdown. But we're going to be very careful, because you look at what's happened in Germany. They came out and they reopened places, and now they're spiking again. And so moving on to Germany, actually, is the first thing I have in my little book today. Because they were due to start the league again. You remember the German players have started training. But an update is that 3 Cologne staff have tested positive for COVID-19. So they're going to make a decision on the 6th of May as to whether that league is going to resume.
apparently a lot of clubs are saying that it's existence threatening to them if it's not resumed. But are clubs more important than people's lives? Ultimately, you've got to have you got to accept that some clubs are going to go as a result of this, because it is a major thing, isn't it? So, but you're prioritising clubs over people's lives. It's maybe they need to rethink that.
It's not just
it's not a vital
football that's going to go. Teams are going to go, but there's businesses that are going to go. Lots of businesses are already going. So and that's purely because life is more important.
Ryan,
do you think it's fair that PSG won the league? Is that how they've done it in France?
Oh yeah, well I've got that the leagues will not resume in France, but I haven't.
But have they given that PSG have won the league? I don't know.
Have they awarded them the trophy? Have they? That's interesting.
Blackpool were top of the first division before the Second World War started and the league was cancelled. Yeah, we were 3 games in, weren't we? We were 6 points out of 6, and Second World War came, and we remained top of the league until the end of the war. So we are the longest team ever to be at the top of the first division, and so we hold that record for forever and a day. But no, we never got a trophy for that, unfortunately.
Ryan is saying that it looks like they've got Mike Ashley out of Rangers. What's happened there then? We have an update from you, and that's great news.
Because you hate him up there as well, don't you? As much as he's hated at Newcastle. Yeah. If people have their holidays in England, you may get more people coming to your games if they holiday in Blackpool.
Yeah, we picked up a lot of fans that way.
Yeah. In fact, funnily enough, I was saying to Jane earlier that I used to sit in the South Stand, and we used to sit in Block Q, and I used to sit next to a guy that used to come from Stoke to all the home games, and I sat with him for 15 years, it was probably 15 years or so, maybe 10, 15 years with him, and I don't even know his name. I can't remember what he looks like now. I've never seen him since the move. I don't know where he sits, but we used to sit with him, Dad and I, and he had become a Blackpool fan because he'd come on holiday to Blackpool, and he followed him ever since. Because I was just saying, God, you come all the way from Stoke, you must be mental. But he used to come to all the home games, from Stoke. He was mad
Well,
Blackpool. And,
it's like James.
we might pick up more.
My friend James is the same. His parents used to come on holiday to Blackpool, and now they're all season ticket holders. So we do pick up a lot of fans. That's what it's interesting. I think when I was on the chair of the committee of BISA back in the old days, I remember doing a survey once of people as they were coming into the ground, and I can't remember what it was for, but it was something to do with where they'd come from or why they'd come to watch the game today, and from that I just picked up that a lot of people were just there for the day, on holiday. They were just up on holiday in Blackpool and come to the game while they were there. So we do get a lot of people into the games that way.
Yeah, we do. People, well, you do as well. If you go on holiday somewhere, if you were, say, going to Spain, and there was you were saying that you were in Barcelona, say, for instance, there's a home game, you might look at getting a ticket to go and watch it because if you're on holiday. I remember going to Texas, and we were looking, to go and watch a baseball game, in Texas, just to see what it was like, and people will take in a game and think, it's sort of like going to the movies or something, to go and watch a football game. So and then people do start to follow Blackpool because they've been to a game.
Adam says, I'm thinking if we end up in the Championship, could we say we're the same size of, let's say, Sheffield United? Well, Sheffield United are a big club, aren't they? So, and it's a big city, Sheffield.
I think we can definitely do, a Brighton or a Bournemouth. I can't see, even a Burnley, really, in the end, I can't see us, being the same size as Burnley. I mean, we've got more population than Burnley, and once they get the East Stand done, then it's going to change everything, isn't it? It's going to be a much bigger stadium.
Mark Hempelman's here. Hi, Mark. I've just been chatting with Mark in Zoom as well. We've been reminiscing about our epic trip to Hartlepool, where it was a Friday night, and it was just the coldest match ever. I was there in 10 layers of clothes and still cold, and we were walking after the game back through town, and there were girls dressed in boob tubes and miniskirts and sandals, and we just couldn't believe what we were seeing, really. So that was an epic trip to Hartlepool for many reasons.
Ollie's vlogs came from he's from Wales, and he came on holiday and then started supporting the Pearl. So so you got into it through being on holiday. I didn't know that, Ollie. That's great to know. Ryan's updated us. Sports Direct will no longer be at Ibrox and will be the will be the mega store will be run by the club, and the money will be given to the club instead of him.
Oh, that's great news.
Oh, so you've got him out of the mega store.
So he had a Sports Direct actually at Ibrox, did he? That's.
Gary's been going to the Viking Hotel for 19 years now.
Yeah.
Wow, you must like it there. I mean, I know they got the talk of the, they got the Talk of the Coast show on there, haven't they? Which is always, a lot of people go and see that. It's a popular hotel. It's not one of the, the biggest, but it's it's very popular.
Is it on the prom?
Yeah, it's on the promenade. Yeah, it's South Promenade. It's near South Pier.
Ryan says there's talk that one senior Scottish club has talked about administration. Yeah, I mean it is going to happen. I think it's inevitable.
It makes you wonder. So, how many teams are going to be starting the season off with dot points and all that? I mean, are they going to give them dot points for going into administration due to the coronavirus? Would the EFL be that mean to do that? I wouldn't put it past them if I'm being honest. They are not fit for purpose, the EFL. I think they're a disgrace.
Let's get on to the EFL, actually. So I've been doing a little bit of reading into what they're planning. What they want to do is for the games to be played behind closed doors in the club's own stadiums to fulfil the fixtures. They're determined to finish the season, and they're looking at getting St John's Ambulance to oversee games. They're thinking maybe the transfer window to remain open as a one-off. But there's a particular interesting moot point about out-of-contract players, because obviously players' contracts expire on the 30th of June. We've got a few players, Roman Mangele being one whose player expires. And I think I was reading, it was Doncaster, I think I was reading about. They've got 14 players who are affected by this who are out of contract. So the three options that they're looking at for players who are out of contract that clubs can offer the players is offer them a new contract. Is option one. Option two will be offer them an extension until the season actually finishes. But option three, which I think is controversial, is they'll release them on the 30th of June at the end of their contract, but they wouldn't be eligible to play for a new club until next season starts. So
they'd be without money then, wouldn't they?
So it's pretty much, I mean,
hold them to ransom.
Blackmailing them really in a way, because they can either, or if you can imagine if you're a player and you're at a club and you hate it, but your options are, well, you can leave, but you could potentially be out of the game for months.
Yeah, especially if it doesn't start till say after Christmas and your contract ends in June and you don't get you can't join any new club. But having said that, our club's going to be taking on players when they haven't got any income streams coming in. I don't really know what's going to happen with the transfer market.
They're also looking at changing, because apparently now you can't approach players until May. But they're looking at changing that so that you can't approach the players until the 23rd of June or 4 days after the end of the season, whichever
comes first.
Yeah.
Right. Honestly, it's such a mess, and the EFL never seem to make anything easier, do they? They don't seem to help. I don't know, whatever they come up with always seems garbage to me. I don't like the EFL, and when we're actually singing F the EFL, I actually sing in with it quite loud because I do actually feel that strongly about it. I think they were disgraceful with Blackpool. I think they've been disgraceful over Bolton. I think they've been disgraceful over Bury. I just think they're garbage.
Ollie says it's Matty Virtue's birthday today.
Matty Virtue's, happy birthday.
How old is he?
Happy birthday,
20,
Matty.
23, 24?
Matty Virtue, if you're watching. Hello, Matty Virtue.
Ryan said it was the Rangers megastore selling Rangers gear like in your normal club shop, but rather than run by the club, it was run by
Sports Direct. Yeah, so they got all the profits from that. And I would imagine it'd be huge profits from that store at Rangers. It'd be massive, won't it? I mean, Blackpool store's got bigger, but I can't wait actually to come up to Rangers and see what it's all about. I should imagine it's a great stadium.
Harry Rowland, hi Harry. What's your opinions on Neil Critchley and what went wrong with Simon Grayson?
Do we have to talk about
Simon Grayson?
Jane goes into meltdown if you mention Simon Grayson.
I might start crying if I have to. He did actually come up today. I was looking actually when the Brentford game was, when we lost 5-0 at Brentford in the rain, and I was looking at when it was, and there's a brilliant website. I don't know if you're aware of it, but I think it's great. It's called 11v11, So if you just type in, like for this one, I was typed in Brentford versus Blackpool 11v11, and it takes you up and it brings you the entire history of Brentford and Blackpool matches. And then for the more recent ones, if you click on the actual game, it will tell you not only the score, but it tell you the goal scorers and the teams and who got booked and everything. It's ever so good. So I had a look this morning at this Brentford game and found it was November 2002. And there were a couple of players who scored the goals for Brentford actually, who I used to sign in Football Manager quite a lot, including Rowan Vine. He was one of my favourites. But the point of the story that I was trying to tell you was, Simon Grayson was playing at the back for Blackpool that day when we lost 5-0 at Brentford. So Simon Grayson.
Even more bad things.
Simon Grayson, though, to answer your question, Harry, we're very excited about Neil Critchley. Because he's got, he seems to tick a lot of boxes. He's used to managing young players, and if we're looking to build an academy and have teams playing a certain way, and obviously he's been at Liverpool and they play wonderful football.
He's got the coaching skills, hasn't he? He's got like great coaching skills,
and also man management skills. And the thing that really sort of excited me about him was he's saying he wants to develop players, and going back to Simon Grayson, he wasn't developing players. And you look at how Blackpool were playing at the start of the season and how they were playing, at Christmas. They were less good because he wasn't bringing them on, and he wasn't motivating them. Apparently, so
it was falling out with players, wasn't it?
So if we've got a manager who can come in and basically reverse that process and make players better, we're very excited, aren't we, about Neil?
If he can coach them to play in that Liverpool style, which is the way that Liverpool have been playing, for the last few seasons, and he's been a major part of that because he's been with the youth team for at Liverpool for like 8 years. So a lot of the coaching of the players that have been coming through have been down to him. I honestly can't see anything bad coming out of it. And we already saw, didn't we, in just a couple of games, we watched, they were actually looking like a football team, and he seemed to have improved the shape of the team, which Simon, wasn't doing. He didn't seem to have a clue, that he had no left side. I keep hitting everything, so
at least it's not me today. And Nick Muller is saying, he doesn't beat me up, by the way, you remember last week he nearly hit me in the face with a pen, which he does quite regularly. Nick Muller says he chose to support Ipswich at Radham in 1976. On my first day at primary school, someone asked what team Ipswich was the first team he could name, and I was stuck with him for life.
Where are you from, Nick? You're from London, aren't you? So you're not actually from Ipswich, so you've got to travel to every Ipswich game.
It's not so bad actually from London.
Is it not?
No, I
How long is it?
London to travel to Ipswich.
How long is it from London to Ipswich?
Ryan, here's something I heard yesterday that Brazilian genius Ronaldinho could have signed for St Mirren. Oh goodness.
Ooh. That's interesting news. That hot from the press from Ryan there about Ronaldinho signed for St Mirren. Edna Mansfield, hello. Hi. From is it sunny in Telford today? It's pretty sunny here. We've had some lovely weather, honestly. It's like it would have been the most beautiful time to be going out all the time. We're all in lockdown, but the weather's fabulous.
It has been raining all week this week, hasn't it? So,
anybody? Tim Wright, anybody heard anything from Simon Sadler? He's been very quiet since the lockdown.
Yeah, he has, hasn't he? There's not a lot coming out. I think we had that one statement from Ben Mansfield, didn't we? And then nothing. We had one from Neil Critchley as well, and then nothing.
Yeah.
It's all. I mean, there's something coming out from the club every day, but it's all about colouring in competitions and guess the player competitions and all these
online things. Honestly. I don't know why we bother at all, to be honest.
We watched the...
Did anybody watch the Football Manager thing where we lost? It was 4-0 against Middlesbrough.
4-0, yeah, and it's not a really great game to watch on Twitch, is it? Because you're not actually seeing the game, really.
But I thought they'd like on Football Manager, the idea of Football Manager, is to play the league to get promoted. So I couldn't quite get my head around Football Manager in a one-off game. It should have been able to get Blackpool promoted or whatever.
It was buffering quite a lot. It seemed to go on for a long time.
It was terrible.
It didn't work. But I mean, there may be some more. I did quite enjoy watching the games on FIFA. But if they can get the streaming sorted out, and the buffering sorted out, But I think people would just generally seem to be losing interest in these things because there weren't many people watching that game either. I think the first one with Keane and Dewsbury Hall, there was 7,000, wasn't there?
Yes.
Oh my God, football!
Everybody
football,
lost interest in it.
I think it's
from
just
there.
a bit. We need.
But that Twitch doesn't seem a very good platform for live streaming. It's very, very buffery.
I guess it's being used.
Hopefully, we're not buffering today on this, and everything's fine. You can hear us fine. We just obviously. Just let us know if there's any problem with the feed. But from our end, it's all looking like it's running very well.
Ollie, as I'm a Swansea fan as well, we've had some terrible referees this season. The EFL are terrible referees. Well, you want to.
That's a shock, Ollie.
You want to watch the Northern Premier League. You think the EFL?
You think the EFL are amazing. But,
there was one game when I was at Chase Town, and it was just before Christmas, about 18 months ago. And the referee, he was one of these referees who couldn't control players other than by cards, and he basically, Chase Town had 6 sent off. And you might think, how can you have 6 sent off? Because surely they'd abandon the game if you had 6 sent off. No, it was 3 off the pitch and 3 off the bench, and it was absolutely. They were all separate incidents as well. It was absolutely.
3 off the bench.
It was unbelievable. It really was unbelievable. So I did write a big rant because I was the secretaries in the Northern Premier League have to report on the referee. You have to score the referee, and then if you want, you can, or if you score him below a certain amount, you can write some commentary as well for some feedback. And he was being assessed there that day as well. So they never come back to you. I'm still waiting for a reply to that, and that was about 18 months ago. It's good to be able to be in that position to provide the feedback on the officials, which I miss a little bit now, I suppose.
I was at one of Sebi's football matches last year. They were playing at on School Road. I can't remember what the team was, but the referee actually sent one of the parents off. She said something about he knew all the other teams' boys' names. When he's awarding free kicks, he say, "Go on, then, Stephen." And he knew all the names, so she shouted out at him, and he took real offence to it, and he just red carded her, and she had to walk out of the state. She had to walk out of the ground and go stand. So he said, "You're off." And I'm thinking, it's a parent. How can you send a parent off? Anyway, she got sent off.
Ednam says it's sunny in Telford. Tangerine Aid, ho hi. I finally caught up with James Grayson comment after the Homebrust Rovers game. A tad different from the Rovers.
She was so happy in that video. We saw the last video, so if you missed the last one, if you go back and have a look at the first game of the season, we did, which was home against Bristol Rovers, just scrub to the end and just see Jane and I coming out, and Jane is honestly, she is buzzing about Simon Grayson. You'll laugh your head off because you know how it all went obviously completely wrong as the season carried on. So we went from that joy and happiness in game 1 to Lincoln away, was it, where the tears started coming in.
It still was a great weekend, if you can imagine, apart from football. Harry, it's funny you were mentioning the Brentford 5-0 result because I'm a Leeds fan and was at Ellen Road when you beat us 5-0. It was terrible. I'm from Blackpool, so got absolutely abused. That was a great night. We loved that.
Yeah, that was under Simon Grayson, though, wasn't it?
Yes. Simon Grayson again. There's a
Simon Grayson Mark 1 actually, who was pretty good, but Simon Grayson 2.0 or whatever wasn't quite.
That was quality that night at Leeds. God, we loved that. It's just unbelievable. It was unbelievable.
It takes 2 hours for Nick to get to Ipswich to every home game. So that's dedication, Nick. That really is. I suppose that's why a lot of your videos are on the train, aren't they? I suppose you got all the fans going on the train.
Some smaller teams may disappear now with lockdown. Yeah, I mean, so it's going to be very difficult at non-league level, as well as Macclesfield. What's happening with Macclesfield? How are they managing? And Bolton are going to be in a right mess, aren't they? They were going to be already. I think they were already still in a mess, weren't they? But I mean, this is going to be life-threatening for clubs, really.
Ryan Dunbar says 2001 was the year Ronaldinho could have signed, and Rivaldo at Celtic Scottish football could have been big if that happened. And I've been doing the quizzes Blackpool put on Facebook. Oh, okay. We haven't, have we? We'll have to have a look at that.
No.
So we've been putting quizzes on.
I didn't do my poem either. I was meant to do my Blackpool poem.
You forgot
I got banned for that as well. I realised it was the deadline day. So.
Alan Duckworth says recruitment is all important at Blackpool now. We have a great coach. You can't make winners from average players. I totally agree, but I also think that.
Off by Ollie. Thanks for popping in.
Ollie. You would also think that Neil Critchley will, because he's been involved in youth setups. He'll have lots of connections with maybe Liverpool lads, that we can, we can loan, and he'll also know some players that maybe slip through the net that he can bring in, that he knows, that would slot into the places we need, and he's been a coach of them for years because he's been through quite a lot of different age groups, hasn't he? So he'll have a vast
Well, he knows
amount
Matthew
of
Virtue.
boys.
There's a couple, isn't there, at Blackpool?
Yeah, there'll be lots he knows, and there'll be lots he knows that that didn't make it at Liverpool, who are probably there to be snapped up. I've got a lot of hope in it really with Neil Critchley. I think we're going to see quite a lot of young players coming through, and also the fact that they want to start improving Blackpool's academy, and the fact that he's been with Liverpool's academy, then he is the man to obviously talk to make sure that our academy is as good as, if not better, than Liverpool's academy. And I think it all bodes well. I think we're going to be champions of Europe within at least 10 years. 10 years, maybe 15 years for champions of Europe. That's what I'm thinking.
Forward to, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dan says we won the FA Cup today in 1953.
Did we, Dan?
We did.
Wow, it was today, was it? Wow.
Yeah, so a couple of great tweets.
And it's
on that today.
There was somebody talking. There's a post on Mitch Cook's left foot where he on his blog where he's talking about Blackpool being the greatest club in the world, basically, and it's a great read if you get to Mitch Cook's left foot. But he was basically saying one of his reasons was that the 1953 Cup final, nobody remembers any football. There's no history of football up until the 1953 Cup final, and it was watched by millions on TV. And it is, Blackpool won it, and they entertained the nation. And we had some of the greatest players in the land at that time, with Stan Mortensen and Stan Matthews. Morty is still the only man to get a hat trick, in a Wembley FA Cup final. It's historic, and we are there in history forever. And that is probably the most historic game before the 1966 World Cup final, which also we provided players for that team as well, didn't we?
Tangerine Aid says Agent Rahubka played a blinder for Leeds in that pool fight.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Was he really bad in nets?
I think he got taken off.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he got substituted. He was that bad. Yeah.
Do you remember when he came on against Everton in the Premier League, and it was just, it was a nightmare, wasn't it, that game when Rahubka came on. He had a stinker, and I actually thought he was quite a good keeper, actually. I never had a problem with Rahubka until he played on that Premier League.
His level. Ryan Dunbar tried the one against the teams we scored against the Premier League season.
Oh. Well, okay, then who did we score against? We scored against Everton, we scored against Wigan, we scored against Liverpool, we scored against United. We didn't score against West Ham, although we had a great goal disallowed. Stoke. It still annoys me. Yeah, we scored against Stoke. We scored against City. We scored against Man City at home. Was there anybody we didn't?
Past Wigan.
Did we score? Are they saying home and away? Because did we score against West Ham at home? I think we scored against everybody, didn't we? I can't think of a team we didn't actually score against. We were very attacking, as Ian Holloway said in his famous after the playoff final speech in the dressing room, where he said we're going to get grass, and I'm not going to do any more accents.
No.
We're going to get grass, and we're going to just attack the Premier League, and it was we did. We just went and attacked them, and I think teams have played without the fear against the Premier League ever since Blackpool showed the way, really. I think a lot of teams have stayed up because they saw that Blackpool weren't frightened of the Premier League, and there's nothing to be frightened of. And I think a lot of teams have stayed up because of Blackpool, because they saw what we did with not spending a lot of money, and we just as a team we just attacked the Premier League, and they didn't like it. They were terrified of us in a lot of games. So it was a shame we went down, really.
Nick says, do you think some of the bigger Prem teams have a duty to help out their smaller football neighbours in this lockdown? Maybe interest pretty low?
Well, this is interesting, isn't it? Because you would think so, wouldn't you? You would think the Premier League were awash with money that could last for a lifetime. But at the moment, they're all desperate for money. Burnley are talking about going out of business if they don't get the season finished, because they're losing 15 million a home game or something. And I thought Burnley would have, I don't know, I thought they'd have billions in the bank by now. I thought they'd be, because they don't seem to spend any money on players.
The thing is, they have money, but they also have big expenditure, don't they? So
yeah, it's massive
I don't think
expenditure.
it's the case that they're going to have like a pot of money that they can just afford to.
You would think they would have, getting 115 million every year.
But you look at what their wage bills are, and
they just spend daft money on wages. That's all there is. All the money in football going out for players.
There is a lot of money that goes from the Premier League into the lower leagues and into non-league. You know, they can get grants, which basically comes from the Premier League money.
So they do help out a little bit.
Yeah, it does filter down.
The richest ones in the Premier League are actually the players. I think the players are richer than the teams, to be honest, because they pay them ridiculous.
Some players are doing things, aren't they?
Yeah.
Was it Gary Neville who's got a hotel who's opened it up? To, I don't know whether it was to the homeless or to the NHS. But yeah, I think people are doing things. You know, the Premier League players do help out with charities, and you know, so the money does go to the right places sometimes.
Are the Blackpool players back in training yet, says Gary Hutchinson? Well, we don't know. We don't hear anything. There's nothing coming out of Bloomfield Road. It's like a bunker.
I don't think they were allowed to start until a certain date. Well, I haven't heard anything about anyone going into training over here yet. America, they're going back to training in America in the MLS. Training is due to start on the 6th of May. With the players going in to do individual workouts, basically to stop players training on the roads, which what they're doing at the moment, that might cause them injuries. They're not going to have access to the locker rooms, the team gyms, the dressing rooms, the team training rooms. Only if they're in rehab. They need to go in for medical attention.
You scored.
Inter Miami have 6 grass fields and a turf field on their training ground, so they've got plenty of space for the social distancing training. And they are going to sanitise and disinfect all the balls, all the cones, the goals, all the equipment that they're using in training. Everyone will be given a health screen on arrival, and they're going to be staggering arrivals and departures. So they're preparing to get back to playing in America.
Right.
But France we've covered, haven't we? That they Leagues 1 and 2 are not going to resume in France. They've taken that decision.
Ryan Dunbar is saying there was a quiz which was guess the teams that DJ Campbell scored against in his spells with us.
Nottingham Forest.
And also, it wasn't the teams we scored against in the Prem, it was who scored for us in the Prem. Well, Brett Olmrod, he got his one.
Luke
Varney scored, yeah. Charlie Adams scored. DJ Campbell scored. The fullback scored, didn't he? Against United. What was he called? The young lad.
Seamus?
No, he wasn't with us in the Prem. He went back to Everton. No, the big centre half who scored the header against United. What's his name?
Ian Evans?
I think he never scored. No, the young lad, the young one that went. Did he go to be sent to Forest? Can't remember. He scored a header against United at home. I don't remember his name.
Adam is thinking of getting a season ticket, but when you buy it mid-season, could you still watch the current season, or do you have to wait for the next season to use it? Yeah, they haven't mentioned anything about season tickets yet, have they? So I guess it's just going to be took it and see, really. We don't know when we're going to be going back. It's looking more and more like it's going to be into 2021 now, before we're back at football, which will be, but it's got to be safe before we go back. I can't believe they're thinking of the players going back. They're so. They're human beings as well. It's not a necessary function. They don't need to do it. They could just stop it. Premier League update from the Premier League. They're proposing to play on even if there are positive tests.
Yes, this was a bit of a weird one,
and they're talking about potentially treating it as if it's any other injury. But I just don't agree with that at all. I don't see how they can do that.
It's not an injury; it's killing people.
And at what level do you declare it a problem? I mean, how many players would have to have the virus for you to say, look, actually, we can't field the team. We can't fulfil this fixture. I mean, what's the level there? I don't get that. They're looking at a maximum of 5 players training together. A spate of positive tests will be a major risk. Obviously, they're looking to try and minimise the match day contingent to 35 to 40 people. I mean, how that's possible, I don't know, because some take 100. But I mean, at non-league we get by with, that number. But when you're thinking about all your medical staff, and you're going to need more of those. But the Premier League, what they're looking at, they're not looking at playing behind closed doors at the club's own grounds. They're looking at playing at neutral venues. But one reason is to reduce the number of fans congregating at the ground. And also the grounds will have to sort of be subject to police and safety recommendations, so on the particular grounds. But it's also been argued that this would distort the format and integrity of the competition if clubs don't have home advantage.
Yeah, absolutely it would.
So in order to facilitate the rest of the fixtures for the Premier League for this season, they'd need 40,000 tests for coronavirus, which would obviously have to not be at the expense of the emergency services.
I just think the one thing you don't want to do is these big events start coming back on. This whole, all this lockdown that we've done for this pandemic to come back and start all over again, and they've got to lock us down again because there's people are not working, and it's there's a lot of people on the edge with the mortgages and all the rest of it, and they can't afford to be locked down again for another 6 months just because the Premier League start and it all rises up again and the numbers go up and people are dying. It's all right. It's more serious than just sport. It's very, very serious.
But I think it will happen. I think they will let us out again and they will let it peak again, and then I think it is going to happen. I don't think it's going to be a case of, look, this is going to go away. They need to, on one hand, they need to start the economy and people getting back out there again, and then just manage it again, and they're going to lock us down again. It's just going to, I can see it, it's happening in Germany already, isn't it?
Ednam said that Liverpool praised Blackpool after winning back-to-back against them, and applauded the players after they came off of the Cop end was awesome. It was amazing, wasn't it? And the Cop, they always applaud the goalie, don't they, when he runs over, for the opposition goal. It's one of the things that they do at Liverpool. But yeah, they were very gracious in defeat.
Ryan says one of the answers was John Pantsill, who scored an own goal when we played Fulham. Could never have got that.
No, that was when DJ got sent off, wasn't it, as well, in that game? DJ Campbell got sent off, which was a shame.
Adam says five-a-side would work.
5-a-side for what? For training or for games? We're talking about games? Talking about playing games 5-a-side?
Oh, training, I guess, if there's only 5 training together.
Maybe, yeah.
But then no, because that would be 10 then, wouldn't it?
Nick Muller says, if some League 2 teams do go bust, do they promote more non-league? It's a minefield. Well, it is.
Yeah, they would
honestly, the more there's. I've said it so many times, but to me, the only fair way is just to scrub the season.
Oh, but they can't. If they've scrubbed non-league, how can they promote teams?
Yeah, they've already scrubbed. Yeah, they've already scrubbed non-league.
If teams haven't won.
So, like Barrow are not going to go up. So it's already scrubbed.
Would they promote Barrow if a League 2 team went just by courtesy of them finishing highest? Maybe they still would.
Hi, Mark from Clitheroe.
Hi, Mark.
Welcome to have you aboard. Thank you, Mark. Nice to see you.
How's Clitheroe?
How is Clitheroe? Is it still not too bad with the virus, or are you still obviously locked down? But is how much was our death toll in Blackpool the other day? You're telling me 200 and something.
No, the last I heard it was 90 something, but that was about a week ago.
Oh, 90 something deaths and 200 odd cases.
Oh no, it's up to 400. It's going up quite a lot now. The cases, yeah. It's over 400. Clitheroe, yeah, Clitheroe. They're the ones with the really slopey pitch, aren't they? Clitheroe.
How would you know that?
Because I went to watch Chasetown. Clitheroe. I went for the weekend actually.
Oh yes, you went to that forest.
Stopped at no, that was Cologne. Clitheroe is where they've got the Bowland Brewery.
Brewery.
And the hotel there.
Yeah, I've DJ'd there at Bowland Brewery.
Yeah, lovely place. I did all the pubs in Clitheroe and stuff there. It's very nice. And the chippy, I think the chippy was a little bit disappointing. Is it the Castle Chippy in Clitheroe? Ryan says it's now come out of the SPFL. Chief Executive Neil Doncaster has lied, as he said no loans have been given since the days of Gretna 2006, but Alan Burrows and Motherwell said they received loans.
Ooh, that's unusual for some sort of Football League chief to tell lies.
Is that a club
Me.
having a loan to survive from the Scottish Premier League? Is that what's happened? Or receive loans from other clubs? How? Explain, Ryan.
Gary Hutchinson said, I take it there's not many taxis in Blackpool now working. Well, we're not. We stopped over a month ago, but I know it's not so bad for like the black taxis, the bombers, because they have like a glass, they're in a glass, they're covered, so they're still working okay. I know Sea Cabs have got quite a few of them still out because the drivers are safe.
But are they doing jobs or are they just out and about? Doing the shopping,
No, I see, but I still see taxis picking up at Asda. They seem to be picking up there because there's people need taxis to get on with the shopping, and there still seems to be people out there risking it. But we just didn't fancy it, to be honest, and we've not been doing.
So the chief doctor of FIFA has suggested just leaving the football now until next season. There's a risk with very big consequences, which I think. We all know, don't we? So I don't really get why. Well, I do get why. I mean, there's legal issues. The four main legal issues with potentially abandoning the league. It's broadcasters, the sponsors, the clubs, and the players. All would have potential. There'll be potential legal issues. Well, there will be legal issues. I mean, there's legal issues. Whatever happens, I think. Whatever happens.
Ryan saying that an idea, for example, would be Blackpool play Oxford, but rather than the full game, best of 5 penalties. Team that score more gets 3 points, but if equal pen scored, for example, 3-3, then it's the draw, 1 point. Well, it's an idea, but
it's social distancing.
It's certainly social distancing, but it all comes down to this fact that if you don't play the games out as they would have been played out, then teams that would have got in the playoffs and teams that may have got automatic will and won't, and also the relegation, somebody to get relegated on penalties, and say like for instance Tranmere Rovers play all their games on penalties and they were playing really, really well when they came to Brentford Road, will get relegated, whereas if they'd have played the games they wouldn't. And it's just that mess that I keep saying, unless you just scrub the season and it's just totally fair to everybody and everybody just resets and starts a new season as they were, then it's fair to everybody, really. At the end of the day, it kind of isn't fair if you're going up, but you know what I mean. You can't get up because you haven't completed the season. So.
All right, so it's loans from the league to the clubs. Oh, that's interesting.
It's the loans from the league organisation.
I just wondered, do either of you get stopped in the street in Blackpool and recognised, maybe celebrities without your camera equipment, that is? Well, yeah, Lee's dying to get recognised in the supermarket.
I've never been. Jane has.
I have been. I was recognised in Asda, and Lee's livid that he still hasn't been recognised in the supermarket. But you've been recognised on the prom, haven't you?
I've been out. I was out. I've made a video, the first one actually, for a chap called Rob from Scotland who's a Blackpool fan. He's a hypnotherapist, and I've done a video. He's doing a series of videos to help people with anxiety and sleeplessness and all that sort of stuff. So there'll be lots of videos coming on. It's called Brighter State of Mind Hypnotherapy. If you want to go and subscribe to the channel and like it for us, that would be great. But I went down, we went down filming the walk along the promenade, and just as we were filming a bit, there was Louis Charles Davis was riding past on the bike. Somebody shouted out, and then I was filming some sea shots for this hypnotherapy. I have my camera filming the sea to get a nice background for the video, and somebody again on the bike was Louis Charles TV. So people do.
We've had it a few times actually on our walks around here as well, haven't we? Yeah.
The funniest one was when I went to the family training day, and all the players were like signing autographs and everything. All these young kids were coming up to me, can you sign this and can you sign that, because they all watch my channel. So that was it was really nice. You know what I mean? It was really nice. And,
I was asked to sign a fanzine in a pub after a game the one time. So is it you? Is it Jay? Oh, we can sign this for? Yes, of course.
Can you let Jane cut your hair live on stream next week? Not a chance of it.
You won't have any choice if I was doing it now. You wouldn't move, would you?
Yeah, no. Cut it live. I think she's going to do it. You know, we have got the clippers, but we've got to watch some YouTube videos on how to do it because otherwise I'll just end up with a completely all shaved off when I come on next week.
It's not looking too bad, actually.
Yeah.
But we have got a video to make. Actually, we're going to make the video we've been talking about for about 2 weeks. We're actually going to get it done tomorrow. So watch out for that. The away day review.
Away day review video. It's coming soon.
See who's going to win my top away day in League One this season.
And we've actually, I've been super excited this week because we put the walk along the Blackpool promenade video up, which has nearly got to about 3,500 views now, and I've never had anything like that on any video I've done that's like not about football. So it's been really good, really. So we'll probably do a few more.
If you haven't watched it,
there's
a great Blackpool sunset on there.
There is, and some birds. We didn't see any birds. And also, there's all these starlings came onto the crazy golf bit in front of the pleasure beach, and but it was really strange. We said in the video, we're walking along, and at times we just had the whole of the Blackpool promenade to ourselves on a lovely night where it would normally packed with holidaymakers, and it was something kind of nice about it, but also sad about it at the same time, because obviously Blackpool should be all hustle and bustle and people making money and people here enjoying the sea fun. There was nobody there, and it was kind of sad, but also really nice to walk.
Speaking of making money, there's a game changer here. Tangerine said, "I pay to see Jane cut your hair, Lee." So a bit of a super chat, maybe.
Oh, gone out. It's not gone out. It's just not.
Maybe we could say.
I haven't got enough of it as it is. I don't want to make it's going as it is.
Maybe we could say next week, if we get to say £50 in the super chat, then you'll let me do your hair. How about that?
Is that the deal?
Should we do
50
that?
quid. Yeah.
If we get to £50 in the super chat, then
£50 in the super chat should get the clippers out. Oh my god. Have you more views on your toast making video? Well, no. Honestly, it was just something to do. But I'd watched these other YouTubers, and they'd done this like home thing. I did provide a link in it, and they shot some B-roll. And I just fancied making a video of like a first person B-roll, and I was quite proud of it actually. But no, it's only on about 220 views or something. So obviously my toast making skills are not appreciated.
I think there'd be more views on my shaving your head video actually. That would.
It's just drop.
It would be a winner.
Just drop the whole thing and I come here. No.
Keep it going, guys. So I missed a bit off actually. The Premier League. I've got
Sunderland away was so good. My brother was sat right next to you. Oh right, okay. Was that next to Jane? Yeah, and Jane and Seb. Yeah.
Good pies though at Sunderland.
Yeah, Sunderland looks a lovely.
CSC Sider said he'd pay as well.
Oh God, you started something now.
Yeah.
Just cancel the live stream now. Bright State of Mind is saying, so the Bright State of Mind hypnotherapy, this is I made the video for Rob. He said, beautiful shots of the sea, reminds me what I'm missing being so far from home, yeah. And I've actually changed my logo because I've taken a photograph of the sea there as well. It looks really, really good on all my Lee Charles TV, on my Facebook and everything. I've changed the main header because I like it. And also on my Twitter, it's on my Twitter as well now.
Gary's off. Bye, Gary. Thanks for
Bye, Gary.
See you next week. Have a good week.
Thanks for joining in. Yes, Clitheroe's got a sloping pitch. Lockdown is still holding, but there are many cars appearing on the streets as the weeks go on. Yeah,
it's getting ridiculous. Actually,
yeah,
it's like normal, isn't it?
It is. It's almost like normal with cars. It's
I mean, we are allowed to go.
But I think people are getting like stir crazy, aren't they? People are, it's gone on for a long time.
And Mark recognised us both at the Fleetwood game and came over for a chat.
Well, you'd already had a shot at doing these.
Oh yes.
No, not yet. No, we've got to watch some.
I remember in the stand, wasn't it?
Right, so I thought we'd already had a shot at doing Lee's hair. No, it's getting longer now at the moment. So, to all those listening in, go and watch Lee and Jane's evening walk around Blackpool. Well worth it. Yeah. Thank you very much, Aid. It's we're going to do another couple, a few of them because it's had such an amazing response. It's certainly had a better response than me making tea and toast. But I think my tea and toast video was really good. I was really proud of that.
Was very good. perhaps not as much interest as
no, not as
Blackpool.
much as what is going down Blackpool. It's fascinating, and a lot of people, this time of year will be coming to Blackpool, and there is a lot of love for Blackpool. It's a very, it's still, despite the fact that it's kind of got run down a lot over the years, people have a lot of fondness for Blackpool, and there's a lot of good things are in the pipeline for Blackpool. So there's hotels being built, or there were being built, and there's a conference centre at the back of the Winter Gardens coming in that's going to bring lots more business into the town. There's this new museum coming on, this show town that's going to be on the front, and I just think Blackpool's on the rise. There's an EasyJet hotel being built. There's obviously the new Hampton by Hilton, which you saw at the end of the walk down, which is lovely. If you want to stay there, it's beautiful. There's a new Boulevard hotel, which we walked past and showed the back of the back of the Boulevard to you, and that's a beautiful hotel as well. So there's some really nice hotels coming into Blackpool that you could actually stay there for a week. Like you would if you were going abroad, that kind of, that really nice room, and, everything you'd want if you were going abroad. So
Ryan says, funny story, my dad surprised me last year by meeting the pool players and Terry Mack after being in the hospital. Let's just say there's things you don't want to see. Yes. I used to have to go into the dressing room at Chasetown sometimes, and I agree that there are things you don't want to see, definitely. My eyes were definitely sort of didn't bother me, to be honest. I was just going in there to do my job, but some of the lads weren't keen, so I stopped doing it.
Well, mate, Sharky's here, Toon Army TV. If it's a good watch, he does a live stream tonight.
Yeah, you're doing that again tonight.
Which is good because you do it all on your own as well. I like the way you brought all the people in as well into the chat, which was really good.
Yeah, it was a great format, and you had the comments coming up one by one on the screen as well. That was really good. Yeah, we like that. If you're at loose end tonight, if you're doing it again, can you just confirm?
No, he is. I've already seen it. He's already got his thumbnail up. I've seen it.
Great.
It's very good, Sharky. You're tempting people in because Newcastle at the moment, if you're not aware, they're hoping to finally get rid of Mike Ashley, and they've got these the richest people in the world who are actually more richer than Man City are coming to buy out Newcastle United. And if that happens, well, flipping heck, it's going to be amazing. And there's such a passion up in Newcastle, in that area. We were watching Sunderland Till I Die, and it was similarly, the Geordies and the Mackhams are all very passionate people about football, and they get amazing support. Both teams really, both over 50,000. Well, 50,000 for Sunderland. I'm not quite sure the attendance of St James's Park. Maybe you'll tell me, Sharky. But with owners like that, who knows?
Jordan says Blackpool should do reruns of old games. Yeah, that would be cool to watch.
Yeah, something to watch on the channel, isn't it? They don't seem to be doing a lot really to keep us entertained.
It must be very difficult for the social media guys, actually.
If you want to see Jane cut these hair. Time ones, we've got Teaser, he's put in one, Nick Muller's put one. Oh, just drop it. Just drop it. Same with comments on the old Central Drive car park. Yeah, that looks amazing. Yeah, and that's going to take it's going to take the whole of that area where the the whole section of it. So even I think part of the Golden Mile is going to go as well. So that's going to be major, and that will run along Central Drive as well. So that they may have to clean up Central Drive, which somebody did comment on my video. Do a video of going up Central Drive, and it'd be totally different. But why would you do a video of going up Central Drive? It's awful. We don't, we were trying to show the beauty of the seafront of Blackpool, but we do know behind the scenes it's not so clever, is it? We all know that.
Toonarm TV said he uses StreamYard.
52.
It's free to use, and yes, feel free to pop in, guys. You're more than welcome.
Yeah.
Pop in.
We'll have a look at you. It's obviously for us, because it's all Newcastle. We didn't really know a lot of what was, what you guys were, were talking about, but it was still very interesting. I like the way you did it, and I like the way you're doing it on your own. I think it's, it's hard on your own. I mean, I have Jane, here to, at least we've got the two of us to banter off. But the fact you brought in other people into it, it's very good. It's very good. You're doing a great job there, Sharky.
We're getting more ones.
I hope you get, oh God,
There's 4 now.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Oh, does that mean number 1?
Yeah, we're getting more.
You want a number 1?
No, they've got to put a 1 if they want.
All right, no, Nick says number 2.
Oh, just is it you wanted to do a number 1 all over? Well, I've nowhere left.
Toonami TV, happy to help you grow your amazing channel. 2 down to earth people. Oh, thank you very much. That's it's really appreciated. Actually, you gave us the name check last week. We got some more subscribers, didn't we, from that, which is great. And if you're not following Toonami TV, follow Toonami TV.
We thought you were very brave,
and
actually, Sharky, that you did it for. I think you did about 10 hours live stream, didn't you?
4 hours. I think it was.
4 hours. You're off your head. 4 hours of live streaming, but you were getting quite a lot, a lot of chat in your stream, so that was good. But flipping it, 4 hours out, we've done it, over the length of a game, so we're doing it till quarter. So it's a typical football match, but you did very brave 4 hours, but. Yeah, so
you do get into it, don't you?
Someone's asked you to put a link to your channel in, Sharky, in the comments if you can. But if you can't put a link in, it's just Toonami TV. Just search it on. Just put a search in Toonami TV, and you'll see his channel. And he's a great lad, actually, really good. He joins in with all the supports. He's kind of been there with me all along. A big fan of his channel and everything. So. Yes, it's fabulous.
You're right. It's difficult to stream on your own. Yeah, because when we're doing the prep, we're testing the sound and we're testing. We're doing. We're working together. It's just behind the old Mr. B's amusement arcade. That's now the Golden Mile Arcade. That's where that Central Drive car park is. Am I right? Just down from the music shop.
6 hours. You did 6 hours.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to answer that question from Ryan.
Oh, what's this, Ryan? Just behind the old Mr. B's amusement arcade, that's now the Golden Mile Arcade. That's where the Central Drive car park is. Am I right? Just down from the music shop.
What's wrong with the music shop?
Do you mean the music shop at the back of the Coral Island? The one that plays all the Irish stuff and everything? Is that the one you mean? It's going to go from like Bonny Street, or New Bonny Street, where the pump and truck. Yeah, where the old police station was, behind the Golden Mile. All that's coming down. All the car parks.
Back of the Sea Life Centre.
Yeah, the whole back of the Sea Life Centre. But on the plans, it seems to also take out that Mr. B's. There's like a hotel coming where Mr. B's is. And it's going to run alongside the Central Drive. So, like, the back of it is going to run right up to Central Drive. And it's going to go all the way up to the King Edward, the old King Edward Cinema on the corner of Chapel Street. So the whole thing.
What sorry, I wasn't listening.
Well, it's not just entertainment. There's markets, entertainment complexes, shopping precincts, hotels. There's all sorts coming in. It's massive, and they're having this £300 million Chariot of the Gods ride in there as well, which is all going to be built around that. So.
Oh, excellent. Newcastle, 52,000 per home game. Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, 52,000. So. Yeah, it's a massive ground.
Chelsea side, if you want to see Jane do a full cut on Lee Type 3. Grade 1 might just last the extended lockdown. Toonami TV, 6 hours, and watch the last 2 episodes of Sunderland Till I Die. I wasn't tired. Gosh, you're a machine.
You are a machine, Sharky, a machine.
Is that a lot of coffee or just? Well, mind you, I guess if you're not, I'm finding this. I'm not.
Yeah, but you're buzzing. You're buzzing on it. I bet Newcastle's blooming going into meltdown. I hope it goes through this takeover, because you're going to be.
But I'm not getting tired because we're not active and we're not out and about and doing things and travelling. We're not getting tired. We were up till one was it last night? Just because and I still wasn't tired when I went to bed. It's just because you're not doing anything. You're not using the energy.
Big Bang Theory session last night, didn't we?
We did.
We've been watching Big Bang Theory. There's like 10 series with 24 episodes in each, and we're actually on to series 6 now. So we've done all that series while we've been in lockdown.
It's great. We'll be
it's
very
so
sad
funny, honestly. It has me in stitches.
We've watched the second series of Money Heist this week as well, which is great.
Yeah, it's
we've
really
got another
good.
2 series of that to watch. We're giving ourselves a little break, although we will be back on it again soon. And we watched Quiz, which he's not here today, Ben, is he? But Ben from Fleetwood, Cod's Blogs, recommended that last week, and we watched that. That was like 3 episodes about the Ingrams who got done for cheating their way to £1 million and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. That's a really good drama, very very interesting actually. A lot of food for thought. So that's worth a watch. That's on ITV Hub. And it's a good drama. It's got a good cast, and it's a really interesting story about the whole underground movement. Because when Who Wants to Be a Millionaire started, was it 2000
Yeah,
It's either the late 90s or the early 2001 maybe.
There's lots of people getting on because
And
they networked all the questions. To get on the show, you had to ring up and apply, and then they rang you, and you had to answer sort of like a quick fire question. But to get on, they knew all the questions, and they used to network it.
But it sounds like it was a really big business. But just because Who Wants to Beat a Millionaire was so massive, and I remember when it started, like everyone watched it, and it just became a really big thing because everyone wanted to get on and win £1 million, and it's a really interesting show. It's from I know it's a drama, but from a sort of historical interest point of view, and give it a watch.
From the way they did it, though, I wasn't very happy with a lot of things about it, and I was surprised that they actually found them guilty after watching the show because
it was told from a certain angle.
It was, but the video that the Celador provided well, I don't give it away totally, but the video that Celador provided to prove that there was coughing and all that, it was all edited by them to highlight all the coughs, and there was something like 19 coughs, but there was 180 odd coughs throughout the whole show, all different random times. But they didn't show any of those; they just showed the coughs. And I know how to edit videos, and I can move sound wherever I want underneath, and a lot of that could be fabricated. And their lawyer tried to kind of convince the jury of that, but they didn't go for it. But they were brainwashed into thinking they were coughing, just
Tsunami TV.
Purely because they raised the levels of the coughs to make it so obvious that they were coughing, but that wasn't actually the case. So
Tsunami TV says your channel is amazing. I can't wait to see you back at Fulfil Road. I've been down as a neutral when the tune haven't played.
Well, we'll definitely have you on. Then you have to let us know when you're coming, Sharky, and we'll definitely get you in We'll get you in one of our vlogs, and thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Ryan, Rangers are showing old games at 3 on their YouTube channel, but I'd watch you both instead. And yes, that's the music shop behind Farm Island. Tsunami TV had no routine until work gave me the green light.
He's got that board as well. He's set up Super Chat this week and Google AdSense. Well, that's good. Google AdSense. It's something extra for your channel, for the work you put in, because it is hard work, and you do put a lot of effort into them, and we do as well. But it's got to be a passion, hasn't it? I've talked to people before who want to do YouTube channels, and it's a lot of hard work. You've really got to be passionate about what you're doing if you're going to do it, because there's not a lot of money in it, really.
And he's cut his own hair for the first time since the barbers are closed. Have you done that this week?
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm actually.
Oh, they are Tsunami TV. You've got a subscriber from TSC side.
Oh, right, he's off now. So
got to go as well.
Thanks for popping in, and keep the campaign going for the Clippers next week.
Thank you. Yeah, nice to see you again. Trevor Cherry, Leeds player, died, part of the '73 league winners. Captain England in 1980. That's sad. Is it a coronavirus thing, or has he just died of natural causes? I don't know. I've not heard anything on that one.
Ryan says, even though I'm not a resident, I felt I knew Blackpool like the back of my hand, but turns out I don't. No, well, there's Lee's, being a taxi driver, knows everything and everywhere, so he knows a lot more than me. I don't really know Blackpool as well as I thought I might have done. So moving back to brick football, which we haven't covered yet today. FC Brickstand are targeting the playoffs. The manager came out in a press conference yesterday, Helena Martin. So they're saying that there are 6 games left, but they're hoping to make it 9. So that's quite exciting. They're in a good position at the moment. They're at home to Brixfield Cobblers tomorrow, who have already got promoted. Brixton and Brixfield have been promoted to the Builders League Division 3. So Brickstand won 1-0 at Robins last week, and they're currently in 5th. If you want to see the league table for the Builders League Division 4, go on to the Diorama TV on Twitter, and you'll see the full league table there. Inter Locking are currently in 11th. They're going for the playoffs as well. It's they're 11th at the moment, but they could get up there. So that could be interesting. Brickstand and Inter Locking playing each other in the playoffs.
Interlocking are very good, aren't they? They do a little bit more sort of like stop-start animation on theirs as well, which is really,
yeah, it's on Twitter.
Which is really cool.
FC Brickstand on Twitter, at FC Brickstand and at Interlocking.
And there's a new team, isn't there? That we just the Studdersfield Sharks.
Yeah, that's quite interesting as well. I'll move on to those in a moment. But Interlocking, they've had a bit.
Hi, Sam.
They've had a bit of bad luck this week. The sprinkler's broken and the lawnmower seems to be on its last leg, so they're struggling with the pitch at the moment. They're away at Pine Villa tomorrow.
Pine Villa.
So yeah, that's what. So it's getting really interesting. Actually, it'd be great to see Brickstand and Interlocking in the playoffs. I mean, Brickstand's our team, obviously. It was great to see them promoted into the Bundesliga at this time last year. So to have them in the playoffs, it's really good fun. Actually, they're a Lego team. In case you haven't tuned in before. They're a Lego football team, and you can follow their matches on Twitter. But yeah, when they got promoted, it was a great night. I remember sat at home, watching the Twitter feed, see how they were getting on, and seeing all the Lego characters in all the pubs. Watching the game on the big screen, which was it was a mobile phone. It was effectively a big screen to a Lego character. And it was a great night. I was drinking vodka at home, like really, really nervous, and they got promoted, and it was wonderful. And with a few hangovers the next day. So hopefully they'll make it back-to-back promotions. It'll be really good.
What's this? Tuna Army TV cut his hair on Thursday afternoon before the 8 p.m. NHS. Applause. Okay, so that's good. You did it all by yourself. Ryan Dunbar, I've just seen on Twitter that Neil Doncaster hung up when questioned on a radio phone-in today. If that doesn't scream hiding something, I don't know what does. Who's Neil Doncaster, Ryan? Because I don't quite know.
He's a Scottish League guy, isn't he?
Is he?
Is he?
I don't know who.
Yeah.
I recommend. Tuna says I recommend you watch a first team Juventus on Netflix. How Max Allegri gets the best out of his team, the winning formula. They take you behind the scenes. Oh,
yeah, there's a few, isn't there?
There's a few football things,
we need
isn't
to
there?
watch another football.
We've got Gascoigne. I think you recommended that to us, didn't you? Gascoigne to watch.
And there's the German one as well.
There's a City thing. Yeah, there's Bayer Leverkusen. There's the Man City one as well, isn't there? Which we just haven't got round to watching it. We haven't got any further with that English game because we're just not enjoying that at all. It's just
too short.
It's just there's just not enough football in it, and it's just too much period drama, and it's not our kind of thing. Period drama. I've got to say, it's not for me.
Maybe I'll read the episode guide on Wikipedia and find out what happened. Tangerine Aid, have you ever thought about having a dedicated intro theme tune along with graphics for your site? Yes, we have thought about that actually. The theme tune. I've got my Away Days theme tune, haven't I?
I get bored.
My James Bond one.
I get bored of the same. I do stick with a sort of a theme for a while, and I obviously then I kind of update the intro. I mean, we've done the lockdown intro now, which was a new intro with a new theme, because I just get bored. I always notice, when I watch it's Ramos's channel, it's always the same tune. I don't know.
That's an irritating tune there. But my Away Days tune.
But I think everything becomes interesting, becomes boring after a while if you've heard it too many times. So I like to just freshen it up, and I always like new music. It's just because I'm a DJ, I've always, through life,
you enjoy finding the music, don't you?
That was my passion with music. It always was with DJing. It was all about the new songs coming in, and when I used to go out in the 90s in particular, when it was old school, they call it now, but 90s, it was always some tune that I'd be going up to the DJ and saying, what's this tune, before I started DJing myself and doing 90s stuff and that. I even now, any sort of new song that just the whatever just catches my ear, I just always like new music. I get bored with the same stuff. So
a little bit, I
probably won't.
A little bit I forgot to fit in on the Premier League bit just before I close my book. If they start training in the Premier League before the social distancing rules are relaxed, the staff will be screened every day and tested twice a week at a drive-through. Players will wear masks and arrive in their kits. The medical staff will be wearing full PPE, which is, I think the hospitals are struggling with the PPE at the moment, so that's an interesting one. The players mustn't shower or eat on the premises. Clubs can, if clubs do want to feed the players, they can have a takeaway ordered and delivered to the players' cars. And all meetings would have to take place off site. So, but I mean, how they can possibly return to training before the social distancing rules are relaxed?
And how can they start like playing it? Normally before any season starts, you've got to have pre-season, haven't you, where you go and play, quite a few games to get your squad fit. So there's all that's got to be played because they've had a longer time off now than they would normally have off in the summer. So the teams have all got to get back into training, and then they're not going to be playing the same way that they were. They're not going to go straight back into playing exactly the same football as they were when it stopped. So. It's to me, I keep saying, I've said it over and over again, the only solution is just to scrub out this season and start again next season.
Neil Doncaster is the SPFL chief executive. There's something going on here. If I wasn't a Scottish football fan, I'd be thinking that the SPFL favours Celtic.
So is Neil Doncaster involved in Celtic as well? Toonami TV, I think it's wrong how the Premier League want football to continue. I think it's all wrong. Health and safety is more important. Yeah. Well, honestly, I'm getting angry. They're making me angry and angry and angry with this absolute desire to just completely ignore the rules and they're just wanting it on. They're having meetings with themselves, deciding when it's going to be on, how they're going to go about it. And, the government are still saying the country is in lockdown, but the Premier League just ignoring it completely, and that is endangering people's lives, and the stress on the NHS and everything else. I mean, we're all in lockdown. We're not working. We've had to give it up, and it's just ridiculous that the Premier League just think they can just stroll on and just do what they like. I totally agree with you, Toonami TV. I've had my rants. There we go.
The English game I will avoid like Mike Ashley's Sports Direct shots.
Yes,
a lot of people do like it, but if you don't like period dramas,
no.
And there's not a lot of football in it, really.
No. And they have this strange. I mentioned it last week. They have this character who's the main football star. This suitor who's come down from Scotland, and he just has the same gormless expression, whether he's happy, sad, upset, angry, whatever. He just has this same sort of stare into the camera all the time, which you really don't know what it means.
And the subtitles are.
I can't watch it.
The subtitles are annoying as well because they refer to the audience watching a match. It's not crowd jeers. It's audience exclaims, and it's just no. It's definitely not a football.
On this day in 1999, Rangers won the league at Celtic Park, and Scottish referee Hugh Dallas had coins in the total of £78.40 thrown at him, and nothing done with Celtic, just incompetent.
Well, it's money talks, doesn't it? Well, not the money that was thrown at him, but
no.
Money is power, isn't it?
They are quite powerful. I mean, Celtic and Rangers are obviously very powerful when it comes to Scottish football, because without Celtic and Rangers, there basically wouldn't be any money in Scottish football, would there? It's they are just superpowers, and more clout than any team in England, because there's just the two of them really that are like the main. In England, you've obviously got United, you've got City, you've got Liverpool, you've got Tottenham, you've got Chelsea, you've got Arsenal. The big clubs just go on, and there's a lot of power, and even there's some massive clubs in the lower leagues. You've got Leeds United in the Championship. You've got Sunderland down in League One. These are massive teams, and much equally as big as Rangers and Celtic, but they're not even in the top league. So there's a lot of money in English football that there isn't in Scottish football, and it definitely will talk.
Returning back to Studdersfield Sharks, which is the new brick football team. They're actually a completely separate entity in a separate league to FC Brickstand and Inter Locking. They're in the Evo Brick Premier League. They've got so Studdersfield Sharks. They have their mascot is a shark, and they've called him Fergal. They had a call to
Fergal Sharky.
Decide what to call him. So they're just naming the other teams that are going to be in the league with them, because it's a brand new league, the Evo Brick Lego League. There's Trodden on Hot Shots, which I think is a great name.
Trodden on Hot Shots.
And there's Blackpool FC as well, and their manager Owen Halliday has got his own football card. So that's the manager of Blackpool FC.
Oh, Blackpool, yes.
New league. So they've got their own badge. There's a lighthouse. Their badge is yeah, it's pretty cool actually. Lighthouse and seagulls. The Blackpool badge there.
Cool. Neil Doncaster has nothing to do with Celtic. He's just incompetent. Well, I think don't even get us started. As Toon Army said, don't get us started on the EFL. They're even blooming worse. They're a disgrace. I think all of these organisations. I don't know who runs them or how they get into power in these things. They're certainly not for the fans anyway.
Well, they're an administrative body, aren't they? It's not really. They don't really seem to care about the clubs or the fans. It's just administering the league and anything else, sort of out of their remit, really.
What's this Toon Army TV? This game for Toon Army TV was Newcastle versus Burton Albion, where the ref awarded a penalty. Matt Ritchie scored and it was disallowed. Surely, if there was encroachment, it's a retake. He was in debate with the linesman. It went on for a good 55 minutes. No goal. Yeah, I would have thought it would have been a retake, wouldn't it? If there's encroachment, you don't just scrub a penalty out. You have to retake it, don't you, until it's saved or scored. Well, that's very odd. Well, there are some, bizarre refereeing decisions.
But also, those referees are human beings, aren't they?
They are. But I mean, they brought in this VAR. I don't watch much Premier League, but I have, watched quite a bit of this controversy over VAR, and it's still not. It's not sorting out. There's kind of more arguments about VAR than there was before VAR. Even that doesn't seem to be a perfect thing. Whether they'll perfect it in the end, but it must be very strange to score a goal and then not know whether you can really celebrate until it's actually confirmed that it's a goal. You just, your normal reaction as a football fan is to go wild and crazy when a goal goes in, but you kind of take that away from you, don't they? Which is, I don't know if I really like it. My dad, when he was alive, bless him, he always used to say, they need to sort something out. And he always used to say that VAR would be brilliant because of all the arguments and everything, but I don't think it's really proved itself to be any better than just the mistakes they make in real life, because they still seem to make mistakes with VAR. What do you think of that, Jane? Do you think VAR, or have you not seen much of it?
No, I haven't seen much of it, to be honest. I nearly went to, when I was at Chasetown, I nearly went to a referees talk, a training session on it. So, no, I didn't end up going. But it's quite good, actually. They used to have a lot of referees training sessions about the new rules. I went to one on the because in steps 5 and 6, I think they were bringing in sin bins, so I went to a referees training session on sin bins, and that was quite interesting. It's very confusing new rule that they were bringing in that will be coming up the leagues more than likely. The FA really pushing that, but it was quite interesting to go to the training session and see all the referees there asking the questions and discussing how they're going to implement it in practice, which is very interesting. A lot of the dugouts, for example, they've got so many seats, but if you they're all filled with the bench staff and with the substitutes. So if you sin bin somebody, where are you going to sit them? There's no room on the bench. Just all the little practical things. So that was quite interesting tonight. This referees training session. So I did miss the VAR.
Yeah, you did get to see a little bit behind the scenes on things, didn't you? When you were with Chasetown, you often said you saw the game from the different side, didn't you?
I used to go to the league meetings as well, and there was the discipline guy from the FA was there, and just ask some questions for him as well. Yeah, it was very interesting times. I miss it. I do.
Toon Army, the referee apologised straight after the game. Matt Ritchie scored a rocket in the second half to save the ref's embarrassment. We should have won 2-0 overall. That could have cost us the championship title. So he actually won that game in the end anyway. Did you win it 1-0? A decade ago today, we scored a playoff place with a 1-1 draw against Bradford. I think we all know how that year's playoffs went. Yes.
A decade ago today. Oh, yeah.
Secured a playoff place with a 1-1 draw against Bradford.
I prefer human error over VAR. Yeah. I don't really agree with VAR. I went to it was the hockey in the Olympics, and I think there was something similar. There was something that involved the game stopping and starting that really sort of detracted from it for me. I didn't enjoy it at all. I think VAR would have the same effect in football. It's just
you don't want it to stop and start
because it's natural.
I thought the goal line technology was pretty good. You know, to see that the ball's over the line.
Yeah.
I kind of get that. If the ball's over the line, it's over the line. If it's not over the line, sometimes it's right on the line. It's hard to tell. So I thought that was a great thing.
Yeah, spot on there, Aid. Actually, he's just said what we're thinking. What you just said there. VAR single-handedly killed the game's spontaneity. That was the word I was looking for. Goal line technology alone would suffice.
Yeah, that's it. That's all they needed. I've often thought as well that there ought to be a line somewhere across the pitch between the halfway line and the edge of the area where, like, before you get past that line, you couldn't be offside. I always think that, like a line that until you get past that line, you're not offside, because sometimes the offside decisions are so tight on that halfway line, and there's a lot of very tight offsides that sometimes I don't think they are. I think the linesmen will be able to pick up on the offsides better if they have less of a pitch to. That's one idea I thought of, but no, I think goal line technology was good enough. Really, I think that was all they needed, because those are the things that really wind you up, aren't they? It's like the goal in the World Cup that we scored against Germany. It was miles in. I mean, it was so far in the net, you couldn't possibly not give it a goal, could you? It was. I still look at it today and think, how could the linesman not give that as a goal? Because it was like 2 foot over the line from Lampard, wasn't it? Yeah, it would have changed that game completely if you'd have had goal line technology.
Tsunami TV said, I was glad to get out of the Championship and away from the corrupt TFL refs. Then again, the Premier League ones are worse even with VAR. Well, I'm not sure they're corrupt. They just get things wrong, don't they?
I don't know if you've ever tried refereeing a game. So, like, even at like children's level, it's not easy. I'm telling you, you do upset people with decisions, and sometimes you do see things that I mean, even us, but we've done a few games this season, and I've been shouting out that how could he give that as a foul, and then we watched it back on the Football League show, and it's obviously it has been a trip or hasn't been a trip, and we've just obviously seen it with tangerine tinted glasses on. So from the stands, we're not always right. We think we're right, but we're not always right, and it's not always the referees are not. They're not always 100% wrong, and also you come out of games, and since we've been doing this channel, we found that we come out moaning about referees, and then you get the other vlogger from the other team, and he's moaning about the referee, and say so. He can't be wrong completely against you or completely against them, because everybody's moaning about the ref.
Terrible. Apparently they're saying no fans at football grounds until 2021. If so, wow, that would ruin EFL clubs. They just have to find another way of making money. I mean, fans would pay to watch games on iFollow. I'm not quite sure how the money's distributed for that. Obviously we would be buying the pies at the ground and the merchandise. Well, I mean, they can start selling from the club shop again, can't they? I mean, I don't really understand why they've stopped that, to be honest, because Amazon are still going, aren't they? And
yeah, they could deliver, couldn't they?
Food places are doing delivery, so I don't really understand why the club shop's closed. I mean, are all club shops closed? Is it just Blackpool? I don't. Because they could still get that, the online retail going, couldn't they?
Well, a few of the non-league clubs, James already mentioned that some of them have got these. You can buy like a match day ticket, like a virtual ticket to something, and they're all finding ways of raising money at non-league, and I'm sure the Blackpool shop could be open, and they could be doing all sorts. They could be selling all sorts of special merchandising things, couldn't they?
Well, I think when we start easing the lockdown, I think these are things that can start. The club shop can start opening again, can't it?
Yeah.
They're just sort of people queuing up to go in.
Yeah, Tsunami TV said it's difficult to ref 100%. You won't please every fan. They're only human. Absolutely, they are. And we do give refs a lot of stick, and fans do give refs a lot of stick. And sometimes, I think it's, even on my videos, I've sometimes shouted at the ref, and you don't know whether you're 100% right with it. And maybe Jane's very keen on not slagging the ref off, aren't you? Really, you don't like it.
Oh, it's very rare that I get angry with a referee, but the one who sent six off. Wasn't
Tangerine Aid has refereed a few Sunday League games in Southampton. It's a thankless task. Yes, it absolutely is. honestly. And I suppose when you're dealing with families and boyfriends and dads and all this sort of stuff, it can be murder. I mean, there's a lot of there's a lot of trouble at children's football. A lot of parents have fights and all sorts of things going on over decisions. It gets very passionate sometimes, and it's not good for the kids really when everybody's shouting at everybody. Celtic scored against us. Ryan, Celtic scored against us in December, and the ref publicly came out and said if we had had VAR, it wouldn't have been allowed. Same with the offside Celtic goal in the League Cup final wouldn't be allowed. Well, there will be, instances that VAR would have saved it, so you think. But then somehow, when these decisions come up in real life, like last season, and the decisions should have gone the right way, they didn't go the right way. They still went the wrong way. So are we actually 100% convinced that VAR sorts everything out 100%? Because I don't. There's more arguments about how it hasn't sorted out obvious things that I still don't think it's right.
Nick Muller has just bought his season ticket. Now, how much is a season ticket at Ipswich, Nick? Because I remember being appalled by the price of my match ticket. I think it was £27 to get in at Ipswich. So how much is a season ticket at Ipswich? Turn on TV. I'll definitely pop down Blackpool Road next season when our lads aren't playing. I don't mind seeing neutral matches lower down. I might take in a Fleetwood Town match.
Right, okay. Tom,
it'd be great to see you.
Tom Secret. Hello, Tom Secret. Great live stream. If you like it, go to Tom Secret Motivation. I don't know who you are, Tom Secret, but
I'm going to have a look.
We could always do with a bit of Tom Secret Motivation by the sounds of things. Harry's going to say, do we miss it? What, football?
No.
What is it? What are we answering for Harry?
Do we miss the football?
Yes. We
the secret to self-motivation.
It's a bit funny with missing the football really here, because as Blackpool fans, we've kind of missed football for 5 years. Then we've just got it back, and we've just started to get back into the swing of going to football matches, and then it's been taken away again. So we're already kind of used to missing it. We've been missing it for 5 years throughout the Not a Penny More campaign. We are missing it, but we've kind of got used to missing it for so long that we're not missing it as much as we probably would have. And of course, Jane was getting into tears towards the end of the season with Simon Grayson, and the whole season seemed to be like kind of falling away into a damp squib really for the season. We weren't going to go anywhere. It didn't look like we were going to get promoted. We weren't going down, we weren't going up. So we've not really lost out on a lot, but I would imagine teams that are at the top of the league will be really sick. West Brom. I mean, West Brom, this is their last year of parachute payments. So if they don't get promotion to the Premier League, they're starting another a campaign in the Championship with no parachute payments, and that could really, really kill them. So they're desperate to get up.
Joe Barton's doing bits at Fleetwood. He has a collection with Newcastle United. It's good to see him doing well and proving the doubters wrong. I will watch Fleetwood because it's on the tram. Yeah,
He's
they're
doing well.
They're doing the filming thing at Fleetwood as well, aren't they? So that'll be interesting to watch when they get that out.
He is doing well, but he's got himself in trouble quite a few times, and he's got this court case over his head, hasn't he? Because he punched somebody after a game or something. So that's coming. So he's brilliant, but he has got that hot head. He has got that hot head on him, which he obviously can't control.
Nick Muller does a lot of ground hops to lower leagues. What's your favourite ground that you've been to, Nick? Talking about favourite grounds in our Zoom chat earlier. VAR won't be in Scotland. Could cost £100,000 per game, which we don't have up here.
Well, we haven't got it in the League One either. 100,000 a game.
£333 behind the goal. That's not too bad, is it?
It's not too bad. That's quite a good deal. I suppose it just stands. What will happen if, like, the season, they all play behind closed doors? What are they going to do then with your ticket? It's a bit weird they're selling tickets for something that they don't even know if it's going to be on.
Yeah. You're just doing your bit supporting your club, aren't you? Giving them the money.
Tunami recommends going to St James's Park in the Gallagher end. Yeah, wow. I can imagine that's pretty loud. It's weird when Blackpool went to Newcastle, you put us right up. You're kind of like right up in the gods of Newcastle.
That's hard work, that.
And you're kind of behind like thousands of Newcastle fans. So it doesn't matter how much you chant, nobody can hear you because you've just got all these thousands of Newcastle fans to drown you out. So it kind of reduces the effect an away team has on when you go to Newcastle. even though we did actually win.
I think Joe Barton's calming down now since the Barnsley incident. He has to if he wants to progress. He still got sent off the other week, didn't he, at Bristol?
He did he got sent to the stands. Yeah, he's not. He's just a hothead, and it's like when you look at Paul Gascoigne, he just couldn't stop drinking, could he? And George Best, one of the greatest players of all time, and he just was an alcoholic and he couldn't stop it and it ended up killing him, and he had everything, didn't he? And it's just you're just wired. I think it's that they say it's a fine line between genius and insanity, and sometimes I think with these genius players they are just slightly unhinged, and they can go either way. And Joey Barton is one of those that's just he's always got in trouble, and it's followed him around his whole career. He's had problems, and in management he seems to have the same problem.
Nick does videos in lower league, done some good ones, Stevenage, etc. I've been to Stevenage, I don't remember. It was one of those that I went to during the boycotts, and I only went because it was a new ground and Blackpool were playing there, and I needed to tick it off. I didn't even stay for the whole game. I just went to tick it off. I don't really remember. I remember the town. I think Stevenage and Crawley were both sort of much of a muchness for me. It was both sort of very grey when we went. We played them quite close together in about October, November time. Just sort of put me off going to football. Actually, at the start of that season, I was determined, and I was going to go to more games. I went to Blackpool, played at Sheffield United, I think it was, first game of the season. And I went, and I stayed in the pub. I thought, I'm not really bothered about going to the game. I've already been to the ground. It's going to cost me, £20, £30 or whatever to go into the game. And I'm not even going to want to be there. I'll leave early. So I thought, I'm not even going to go. So I went to Sheffield, met my friends in the pub, and just stayed in the pub. And they watched the match. And I stayed in there, had a couple of pints. It's in the Rutland in Sheffield. I had a slutty rutty butty. Which is a famous local.
Roti butty.
Yeah, it's like bacon and chips and cheese, I think. So yeah, I had one of those, and it was great. And then it was nice and warm, and everyone else came in. And it was it'd been raining, and I had the right idea. But yeah, so I thought I'm going to go to loads of games, and that was when I started going to Chasetown at the start of that season. And then we played Stevenage and Crawley, and the weather was just terrible, and the games were awful, and I gave up going, and that was when I pretty much stopped going to football for a little while after that.
Oh, there we are.
I don't remember Stevenage.
Tyrone is saying that there's plans to put away fans lower down behind the goal at Newcastle. It'd be a lot better for you because you get more sort of banter with the away fans there, because you won't really hear the away fans at all at Newcastle, so you won't get that sort of like chanting against each other, which is we always like that bit of banter with the away fans. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. We didn't enjoy Portsmouth at home with that stupid bell. That was really annoying us. But,
oh yeah.
But Tranmere Rovers were amazing. They were just amazing. They were really good. It was a cracking atmosphere with both sets of fans going at each other. It really was brilliant.
Nick likes Sheffield United. Favourite, but in League Two is Stevenage. So yeah, I love Sheffield. I went for the snooker to Sheffield last year. I just go whenever I can. Really, it's a great city. I like it. Good pubs.
Just say hello to Lee and Cheryl. Linsky, they commented on the walk down the promenade, and they're big fans of Blackpool, coming to Blackpool. They said they'd be coming up to Blackpool later in the year, so hopefully if you are, we'll get you a vlog, and yeah, definitely. So hi, nice for you to join in.
Mark says a Scottish League title is a bit of a farce, really. It's like two Ferraris racing against a few Minis every year. How can that be healthy competition? Imagine only having
I think they put up with it. I don't know because I'm not from Scotland, but I think they seem to put up with it because the amount of money that Celtic and Rangers bring to the other teams, when obviously because they play each other like 4 times, don't they, home and away twice, so there's a lot of money generated that I suppose they just don't really want to bite the hand that feeds them. I would imagine that's what it is, but I totally agree. But when you look at Scotland, I mean, most of the teams that actually play Rangers are within 20 miles of Glasgow. It's all all these little teams are just basically around Glasgow. And then you go over to the other side, Edinburgh, but it's not very big, Scotland, so it's all very tight together anyway. So I think just Rangers and Celtic just keep the whole Scottish League alive, really. I think that's what it is.
Tsunami TV, I watched your midweek vlog away to Gillingham. That's dedication. The journey would have been ridiculous from Blackpool. It would have been, but I didn't go from Blackpool. I was in Birmingham at the time, so I actually broke it up. I was working in Birmingham, so I went to work on the Tuesday morning, and then I got the train down to London and then across to Gillingham. And then we've had a super chat from Tune on
Thank you
TV.
very
Thank
much,
you
we
very
really
much.
appreciate that, honestly. Gosh, our first super chat, £5. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
We
we
really
appreciate
appreciate that,
it.
Sharky. Thank you. That's brilliant. Thank
So
you.
today, Gillingham, I broke it up. I went down on the train on the afternoon. And actually stopped over at a little B&B just down the road from Priestfield. I think it's on Priestfield Street or something. And then and travelled back the next morning, and then went back to work the following afternoon. So I did break it down a little bit. But yeah, everywhere's a long way from Blackpool. Portsmouth, I wasn't looking forward to Portsmouth at all. I'm actually very pleased that we're not.
But she was going to fly, weren't you? Which was quite exciting.
Oh, well,
really.
because it was 7 hours on the train and 7 hours on the road.
How long was it on the flight?
It was an hour from Manchester to Southampton, so that would have been a lot.
So that was kind of exciting.
It would have been an epic.
She was going to do like a travel flying vlog, where she'd be getting on the plane and everything. Which we're quite looking forward to doing it. To be honest. Yeah, it would have been good.
But I booked the flights, and then I hadn't realised that I actually couldn't get to Manchester to get the flight on a Saturday morning. So you were going to have to take.
I was going to say because I just won't fly. It's a thing that.
So we would have had a lift to the airport to fly, and then flown to Southampton, and then the train to Portsmouth, and then sort of same return journey. It would have been that would have been the best way to do it. But then I booked with Fly B, and then they went bust, and then the game happened anyway. So. Yeah, you're gonna make these things as easy as possible because the travelling was getting really hard. I'm still not missing the football for that reason. Actually, the travelling was getting too much really, and the football was terrible.
Ednam says we can always take loud hailers to a match to drown out the opposing fans if you're in a situation like you had at Newcastle. I actually like it. When those like the ultras of the teams abroad, they have the guy at the front with the big massive loud hailer and it's all going. I always think that looks really good.
We were watching really the Grimsby fans, weren't we? Because in the fanzine, which I haven't plugged by the way, the new Blackpool fanzine. I think it's on the ticket. Is it on the ticker at the bottom? The
yeah, it's be down there. Yeah.
But there's an article on inflatables, and the Grimsby fans were banned from taking inflatables.
And they have big fish,
don't
they?
On their match at Barnet, yeah, they have Harry the Haddock, but it's still a big thing in Grimsby. Apparently, these inflatables. So Barnet banned them from taking any inflatables to this match. So they hired a Mexican
mariachi
band, and it's absolutely fantastic. Actually, I'll get it up so you can
go and have a look at it. Yeah, yes, they took this Mexican band and they went everywhere with them, and they're all conga and everything. But some people did get some inflatables in, didn't they? I think they just got some hammers.
A few inflatable hammers. I bet Barnet were regretting banning the inflatables because the atmosphere. Honestly, just listen to this. This is under the stand.
Yes, they took this. I think that's really cool.
And basically, the band just kept going. That was underneath the stand. The atmosphere was fantastic, and the Grimsby fans all went dressed up as Mexicans. Well, look it up on YouTube. Just type in Grimsby Town Mexican mariachi band.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
At Barnet, it's honestly, and the atmosphere with the band and they were doing a conga at the front of the stand.
We need to hire one time for Blackpool.
Oh, it's magnificent.
It's just great. Yeah, it's an away match with this mariachi band. It could be fantastic.
So maybe we could take one to Newcastle next time.
Ryan's just confirmed that Aberdeen is 3 hours away from Glasgow, as is the place Ross County play.
Yeah, it's been to Ross.
Yeah, apart from that and Dundee, all relatively close. So yeah.
So we had a pre-season. We had a pre-season tour when Colin Hendry was Blackpool manager. We played up at Cali. We had a weekend in Inverness. Played Cali Ross and Keith. So that was great. Keith was great because it was really in the middle of nowhere. It was so dark at the station after the game. You couldn't hear a thing or see a thing. It was just maybe like the odd sheep bleating. But yeah, we went to Ross and Cali. Yeah, it's quite. We got the flew to Edinburgh and then got the train up the East Coast, which is wonderful. Up through Dundee and then up to Aberdeen. The train goes right on the coast, and you can see the seals in the sea. It's wonderful. It's one of my favourite train journeys. I really enjoyed that, and the weather was perfect up there as well in Inverness.
Army says that is going to be his ringtone when Mike Ashley has sold the club. And Ed and Mansfield agreed. That's really good, Jamie. We really like the mariachi, the Mexican mariachi.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's a way to get an atmosphere.
I mean, we were saying before, Blackpool used to have the blow up towers back in the day. We used to have a blow up tower. I think was it Man City that started with the bananas?
Yeah, because they had Imre Berardi and they couldn't pronounce Berardi, so they called him Imre Banana.
Imre Banana. So they all have blow up bananas. Yeah, that was kind of the start of the blow ups. But Grimsby have never stopped. They're still. When was the blow up bananas? Was that like in the 90s? Is that in the 90s?
Well, Imre Berardi was the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, so Grimsby have never stopped. They're still taking inflatables to Grimsby.
Why not?
Yeah, superb.
Fun place. I love Grimsby and Cleethorpes. It's not my favourite place. Well, not Grimsby, but Cleethorpes. I love Cleethorpes. Colin Hendry, another Rangers link there. We'll more Rangers and Blackpool fans than me, but it feels like it's just me up here. Yeah, there are a lot of Blackpool fans in Scotland. I've got a friend who travels down to matches from Inverurie every.
Colin Hendry
game.
wasn't. Colin Hendry wasn't the most favourite Blackpool manager of all time.
He wasn't the least favourite.
He wasn't the least favourite, but he wasn't a very popular manager at the time. He was pretty clueless. But Colin Hendry was more Blackburn Rovers. I mean, they idolise him there, but Blackpool fans wouldn't have a lot good to say about.
It's actually a Scotland Blackpool supporters group called Seasiders Across Scotland. I think they may have a Facebook group. If you're interested, right?
Yeah, the Blackpool Walk, Toon Army. Yeah, the sunset. It really was. But honestly, Blackpool has some of the best sunsets you'll ever see, and it just looks beautiful, doesn't it? That almost like tangerine sky. It's just perfect for Blackpool. It was a wonderful night actually. We really enjoyed making that video, and we're going to make some more because it's had so many views. We can't actually get over how many. Well, I can't get over how many views it's had because I've tried to make loads of videos. We did the Kylie Minogue, we did the Antiques Roadshow. I did obviously Bloomfield Bear and Tower Ted, the Tower, and I've tried to do a few things that aren't obviously football related videos, and they've just they've not done very well. Even the interviews with Eamon O'Keefe and Derek Spence and Tony Green, they've not really gone as well as I'd hoped they'd go. They're not in my top 20, but this Sunset Walk, Blackpool, obviously a lot of people have a big affection for Blackpool. They're missing coming here, or, for trips, and there'll be a lot of things that are going to be cancelled. We don't know whether the Lytham Festival is going to be on. We went to see Kylie last year. We don't know whether that's going to be on now, and that was amazing.
I think it was going to be terrible this year. Who was on Cliff Richard or something?
Yeah, there was. It was not anybody that we fancied going to see, but Kylie was. I mean, how can you top Kylie Minogue?
She was amazing.
But the night was with Kylie Minogue. It was just the whole. I mean, the weather was gorgeous. The sky was beautiful. There was thousands there, and it really was an amazing atmosphere. It's one of the best concerts I've ever been to, actually, and it was, the first time that Jane and I actually went kind of on a date, really, I suppose, wasn't it? It was kind of our first date, that, so we made a film about it, and it was just wonderful.
It's the Blackpool Rangers supporters club, Blackpool True Blues. Oh.
Yeah, there is a Rangers a supporters club. I think they also watch matches at that club on Station Road. I think they watch matches there. There's also Celtic as well. They seem to watch matches in the Excelsior Celtic, so they have a bit of a following here as well. I mean, a lot of Scottish people live in Blackpool. Scottish is a bit. We used to say it's a suburb of Glasgow because that many Scottish people here in the summer. They all come down to Blackpool, but that's because they find the weather's warmer than it is up there. They think,
it's full time.
Is it full time?
It is full time.
Oh, blooming heck! Wow, that went really fast. So we'll just.
Door on tour.
Oh, Door on tour! Hi, Door. How you doing? You've just caught us at the end. You've just caught us at the end. We always run through these. We go from like 3 till 4:45 with a bit of stoppage time at the end. So I know if you got any questions for us, Door, before we go, or if anybody's got any last questions before we do go, because we will be going. We'll probably give it a few more minutes.
We've got to do our weekly shop.
How's Nottingham, Door? How is it there? And how's the situation with the club? Is any news coming out from Forest?
We were only talking about Nottingham Forest, actually. I mean, Lee and I were talking about them the other day, and also in our Zoom chat before we came on here. Just the atmosphere at the City Ground. Remember when we were there for the playoff semi-final? We never heard an atmosphere like that. The home atmosphere was just absolutely. I never heard anything like it.
It was deafening.
Just incredible, really. No, even Newcastle, Sunderland, anywhere. We never heard an atmosphere like this. It was really quite intimidating. Obviously, it didn't intimidate our players that night, but yeah, it was really incredible. It just sort of gave us goosebumps. So what a great ground and what a great set of fans.
Yep, Ryan has confirmed it is the Gallant Pioneers on Station Road where the Rangers meet, and that's how he found his love for Blackpool when he was visiting, and he watched the Rangers match there. So I was right, yeah, it's the Gallant Pioneer, that's the name. Door's been on night shift. They're still upset with beat us in the playoffs. I know. I'm sorry about that, but we played amazing that night, and I don't think he'll ever. I don't think he'll ever top that DJ Campbell hat trick. It was just unbelievable. But yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, Millwall really. Smithy's back as well. Hi.
Oh, you're all coming in at the end. We're gonna have to stay on a little bit longer. We'll do till 5. Since a few of you have turned up. So Millwall Smithy, our favourite Millwall fan. Went up to Preston in February and beat them 1-0. Good. That's brilliant. Ruffed a few feathers up, Oh god, yeah, we hate Preston. So yeah, absolutely wonderful. If you can beat them every time, that'll make us very happy.
I actually posted a picture of an old picture of Bloomfield Road of the old South Stand and South Paddock on one of the football Facebook groups, and a Preston fan responded with a picture of beautiful Deepdale, and I just thought I can't respond because is that a paradox? Beautiful Deepdale?
Yeah, well, that's what Mitch Crushler said, because he said, obviously Blackpool, we play at Bloomfield Road, which, you think of flowers and beautiful things, and then you've got like Deepdale, which just sounds like awful, doesn't it? And Turf Moor, they're all like really dour sounding places to go, going down to Deepdale. It's awful.
Yeah, you stay safe too, Toon Army TV, and tune in.
Yeah, we'll have a look at your live stream. If everybody's just joined in, Toon Army TV's got a live stream tonight. He goes on for about 10 hours. I don't know how he does it, but he does it all by himself. So it's a great watch, and there's a lot of excitement up in Newcastle with the takeover. Tangerine Aid said we've got 3.3 thousand views on the Blackpool Promenade board now. Yeah, I know it's unbelievable. It's I can't quite get over how many views it's had. It's it's fabulous that you do these things and people watch them, because you do videos and you think, should I do another one because nobody's watched it. I mean, I don't know whether to do another Toast and Tea video. I might do, but it's not the greatest. It's not the greatest views I was hoping.
Do a Cheerios one.
Cheerio.
Crunchy nut cornflakes.
Making crunchy nut cornflakes. Maybe I'll do that video. It'll do better than Toast and Tea. Don't know what's happening yet, but I think the games will be void. Yeah, well, we've been saying that, but the EFL, the Premier League, they're determined to get these matches on. It doesn't matter whether there's coronavirus and the country's in lockdown. They're so determined to get these matches on, and we've been saying all through this stream, if you watch it back later, that I think the only fair way is just to scrub the season and just start everybody where they were and just reset
we didn't kick up a fuss in 1939, did we?
No, we didn't. We were top of the league. We were we're the best team in the country, 6 points out of 6. Romping it. We were at the start of the Second World War, and we stayed there, top of the league till 1945. And
we've just got to accept that sometimes events take over.
We should have got the title.
There are bigger things at play than football, and we should just.
Yeah, we should. You've got all this. We're out applauding the NHS on a Thursday night, and all these people are putting their lives at risk, to save people. The Premier League want to go back playing football and just bring it on and keep us all in lockdown for even longer. I just think they're just so greedy.
But they're setting an example in the Premier League. So if the Premier League start playing football, what about the Sunday League's going to start up again? Well, if they're doing it, why can't we do it? And then does it all start again? Do the kids start going out playing football on the streets again? Because
the whole thing fires up.
They can't do it. They can't do it.
Thank you, Rob from Brighter State of Hypnotherapy. Don't forget, this is a channel that I've been doing some video. Well, I've done the first video. We're going to do more videos. He's helping you with stress. He's a hypnotherapist. So click on his channel and give it a like and subscribe to that as well, and help Rob. He's a Blackpool fan. He's a great guy, and he just wants to obviously help people with his free hypnotherapy. You can go to sleep on it and listen to it, and it's fabulous. He's great. I'm going to do some great videos, and I did all the video of the sea. That's me as well on that video, so it's all done by me. So yeah, and I've done all the, I put the video together for him, so I'm quite proud of it. So it's my work as well. So I appreciate if you give him a like and a sub.
Toon Army TV streaming at 8 p.m. Thanks for the shout, guys. I'll be talking about the Premier League.
So what time are we going on till? 3 in the morning. Sharky, 3 in the morning. You're going to go for tonight? Because
midnight.
I think we fell asleep on your last one. We couldn't keep our eyes open for 4 hours. Edna was supposed to be coming up to Blackpool in June for the National RAF Association conference, but it's in doubt at the moment because of the hotel being closed. Well, yeah.
Well, not all of the hotels are closed. Some are open for key workers, aren't they?
Key workers, yeah, but you're not going to have a conference. There's not going to be conferences, I don't think.
They'll probably do it.
Unless they found a cure, if they find a cure to it, and we can all get an injection, because that's the thing. If they can just cure the damn thing.
They seem to be bringing that forward, don't they? They're talking about March next year now, maybe bringing it forward again. Alan Smith, credit to you, Lee and Jane. I love your unbiased views on the game. Credit to football. Noel Smith, oh, bless you.
We're not always unbiased. Sometimes I get a bit tangerine specs on me, but we try, don't we? We try to be. We try to be unbiased. I mean, we've got to say things from a Blackpool. I mean, we just didn't like Rotherham, and that's it. Even though the stadium was nice and everything else, we just didn't like the
stadium was lovely
experience.
actually when I was doing my review, because I've been through and looked back on all my away day videos just to see how I'm going to rate the away days in the video that we're going to do tomorrow. And actually I'd forgotten that Rotherham's ground was actually amazing.
It was nice.
The aesthetics, the way that the roof sloped, and the disabled areas, and the ladies' toilets had coat hooks, and there was all sorts about Rotherham's stadium actually, and the scoreboards, they got the same scoreboards as Doncaster, I think.
Yeah, they were great.
So the actual stadium was superb. It was just a shame.
It was just the staff in the stadium, the stewards in the stadium, the stewards outside the stadium, the miserable place that actually Rotherham is. And you drive past like the old stadium, like it's like a ghost stadium. It's still there. It's a horrible. Didn't enjoy it at all.
Are we going to the Football Content Awards in October? Well, we may well be, yes.
We don't know. We've had an email which asked for we had a contact on Twitter asking for our email. So Cod's Vlogs did say that when you get that sort of message that they're going to invite you to it. So we were so excited. We were going anyway. We'd actually booked just to go, even if we didn't get, because we wanted to go and see Tottenham's ground.
Yeah, really excited.
We just honestly, we're going to just shoot some great video about going, even if we didn't even get nominated or become a finalist. But we'd love to. Obviously, just be a finalist, it'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that's something to look forward to, actually, isn't it? The Football Content Awards in October. Hopefully, we'll be.
Brentford have a new stadium on the way.
Have you been yourself, or on tour? Have you been before? Sort of, how big an event is it? And I'm guessing it's getting bigger. I think they had it in Manchester. They have it in Manchester somewhere last year, but we've never been. So it'll be.
It was at City.
Experience.
It was at Man City last year. Yeah, it was at City. But obviously, Jane's bursting to go and see Tottenham's ground because it's one of the grounds she hasn't seen. She's been to the old, Tottenham White Hart Lane, but she's not been there. So she's excited about that. To add to you, how many grounds have you been to?
I'm on about 89. 88. I think it's just Tottenham, Forest Green, and West Ham that I've got to do the 92. So Tottenham, I know it wouldn't technically count, but I haven't been. So I just want to see it, and I want to, the old Beavertown Brewery are in there as well. I like my beers. So yeah, just the whole experience. We got the hotel booked and the tickets for the event and everything. But we managed to get our money back on the hotel, which is great. So.
We're definitely going, Dor. We're definitely going, and I think it'll be great actually, because I see all these YouTubers that that there was a load of YouTubers that like Casey Neistat, the original YouTuber, and they all went, like lots of them, to a meeting at his shop in New York, and they all did collaboration videos, and they were all on each other's videos, and I think definitely doing some collaboration videos when you're there and meeting each other will be fantastic. I'm really looking forward
That's
to
if
it.
you're allowed to video the actual awards. I mean, is everyone just videoing there, or you're not allowed to, or how does it work? Have you been? How does it work?
I'm sure you'll be able to chat with people outside. I mean, half of the things I always say, it's better. The behind the scenes stuff is actually better than the actual, the stuff. So, if you were behind the scenes at the Oscars and meeting all the people outside and seeing it was like in the bars, it's all interesting anyway. So you can make videos even if you don't actually video the actual awards. It doesn't really matter. And
Lee and Cheryl says, when we decide to get a date for Blackpool sorted, I'll let you know.
Brilliant. We will 100%. Honestly, we will get you on, and we'll love to see you. And I'm so pleased that you like to come to Blackpool because I'm born in Blackpool, and my mum and dad were born in Blackpool as well. So I'm a 100% bona fide Sangro. So I'm very proud of Blackpool, even though I know parts of it are run down. But there's a lot coming in Blackpool. It's going to get better and better. And if you can't have a good time in Blackpool, then there's something wrong with you. Really, it's a fabulous place to come and just let your hair down. We are a party town, and we lit up the Premier League when we were in the Premier League because we are party people.
Ryan's off. Yeah, see you next week, Ryan. Thanks for popping by again.
Bye,
and
Ryan.
Us on Scotland. It's interesting, and we enjoy having you here. So yeah, it'll be great to see you next week. Dor says I went last year at Man City and fantastic experience. But DM on Twitter so I can explain more.
Okay, yes, we will do that. All right, Dor, we will send you a message. You can tell us all about it. Well, it's 2 minutes to 5, so we're coming. We've done extra injury time. Honestly, it's been a pleasure. We love these live streams. If you know anybody, and we'd love to have more people joining because the more comments we're getting in, the more we can join in with you. 1872 Jordan, I'll be going to a Blackpool game after this is all over. My last game was 2017. Which game was it? Jordan, your last game in 2017?
Yeah, it'd be great to be back at Fulfil Road. I think it's going to be. I don't know how they'll do it. Whether they'll stagger going back, whether they'll restrict the capacity for a little while, restrict it to ticket holders. Maybe I don't know. Be interesting to see how they do that. But yeah, we'll be back. It may not be till next year, but we'll be back, and it'll be great. We'll appreciate it. We do anyway, don't we? We said when we went back after the boycott that we would never take this for granted. And I think, everyone's going to be in the same boat now, aren't they? That
Oxford 3-1.
Don't take your football club for granted.
Oh, Oxford 3-1. Oh, that wasn't a great game then.
Ryan, before I go, I'm like Lee, even though I'm not born and bred in Blackpool, I love the town as my own.
Thanks, Ryan. Just say one more time, thank you very much for all of you that have, joining on these live streams. It really makes it worthwhile doing, and we do appreciate every one of you that subscribe. And if you haven't subscribed yet, just click the subscribe button, which is down there somewhere. I think it's down that side, and just click on and click the little bell, notify you. We have got hopefully a video coming this week from Jane, which will be a review of her away days this season, which I think you're all going to love. We might do another promenade, walk a bit further. We might go a bit nearer to the tower and everything this week to show those of you that love Blackpool what it's like in lockdown. And we'll catch you, won't we, next week? Same time, same place, 3 o'clock. We're hoping that this has been a video without too many sound issues or hiccups as we're going along, but we don't know because we don't see it until after it's finished. But thanks a lot for joining in.
Have a good week, stay safe, and we'll catch you next week.
Wash your hands and keep your social distancing, and this will pass soon. Cheers, Dor.
And follow Dor on tour.
Yeah, follow Dor on tour as well. He's Nottingham Forest. He's fantastic. We've followed him for a long time, and brilliant. Another great football blogger. If if you're bored, you don't know what to do. Some of these football bloggers are good to watch, but Dor is superb. He's Nottingham Forest, and we always have a little bit of a soft spot for Nottingham Forest, seeing as we killed their dream of getting to the playoffs. It was a bit, but that's life, that's football. But one day they may get one over us again. So yeah,
stay safe, guys.
Stay safe.